Creative settings, they're always changing. So I have a video here that we're going to go through all the creative settings to keep you up to date, especially with the World Cup and all the creative going on. I thought it'd be good to get used to the settings again and get everything updated and know what's out there so you can go ahead and create amazing islands yourself. I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you a sneak peek of a new creative world that we've been creating, so you'll get to see that. And I'm really excited. I hope you are. Let's go ahead and just get right in on this and check it out. Let's do it. All right, time to jump into creative. Let's check the shop real quick. I saw these in the World Cup. Let's get these. Boom. I've been given... I need to give away some stuff, don't I? It's been a while. Why don't we... see how many likes we get. We hit 100 likes. Comment your epic name below, and I'll go through and add one of you and gift you something nice. So go ahead and do that. Make sure you add your epic name and you accept my request if you're chosen. It does take 2 days till I can gift, and then I'll go ahead and gift it to you. I think that was it. Was there one other thing? Let's look at the wrap. Nah, I think I'm going to pass on that. Yeah, make sure you're also using code Kevinsmak.tv. Really does go through and help me out. Now let's go ahead and get into the settings. We'll skip ahead and get you right there. Welcome. This is the new Shotgun Joust creative mode that we've created. Mainly, we have the people over here actually. I could just show you the names on screen. We're going to go over this in another video. Frag and Subversion did the majority of the work, and the others helped out as well, including myself. But pretty much Frag and Cracked Subversion have done majority of this. Let's go ahead and show you these settings. And hey, there's that code Kevinsmak.tv. You know you want to use it. Let's go ahead and check it out. So what we're going to do is hit escape, and then we're going to go to My Island, and it's going to come up with a bunch of choices. And now let's go over them all. Voice chat. This means when you start the game, who can hear you? You can have everybody, so both teams, or if it's a free-for-all, everyone can talk, which gets crazy if too many people are in it at one time. So I will warn you that. Then you have none, or you have team. I usually leave it on team. That usually works pretty well. If you have teams, this is how many number of teams you would like. This map is going to be using 2 teams, so that's how I have it set up. But you can go ahead and change it. 10, I think. Oh no, you can go. You go up to all custom and then free for all, cooperative, and then back around. So we'll stick with 2 there. And then we have spawns. If you are eliminated, what happens? This is just set to infinite, so that means you come back alive. You can go ahead and choose as many as you want. Remember, number 1 starts when you start the game. So if you just have 1, you start the game. If you're eliminated, that's it. You're gone. So just keep that in mind. We're going to put this back to infinite. Here we go. After last spawn, what do you do? Do you switch teams or... It's a lot of teams. Or spectate. I usually leave it on spectate at the moment because I do it in rounds. So after so many eliminations, the round's going to be over, and then we're going to start a new one with random teams. Total rounds, how this one works is I am going to have 4 rounds. And team rotation, when do you rotate? Every round. So we'll rotate sides, the Peely side or Fish Gang side. We'll kind of go back and forth. And you can do every other round, disable, or keep it on every round. Also, I'm going to be having another video on this creative map in the near future. We just need to do a little more testing and a little more cleaning up, and then it's going to be out, so it shouldn't be too much longer. We're just going to do some final testing, and then I'll go ahead and release it. So probably within a week, you can expect to see that video. Once it's out, I will link it above for you. So if you're watching this and it didn't just come out, most likely that's available, and it's really fun. It's basically think of jousting, but with shotguns. Time limit, you could put it as long as you want. This map, I don't expect it to go 20 minutes. I just put 20 minutes. That way, if the game is really dragging and it's taking 20 minutes to get 20 eliminations, the game just ends. Because at that point, you know, we need to move on. Fastest time to win, you could turn that on if you're interested. Whoever has the fastest time will go ahead and win. Eliminations to end, I have this set to 20. This is a great one because they have just recently updated it. So you can go up to 40, I think it's 500,000 and then off. Or originally they just had it to 20 and it was like, you know, when you get 16 versus 16, it was rough. I did suggest it in an AMA on Reddit and they ran with it and added it. I don't know if that was from me, but could always hope. Creature elimination on win. If you have like a PvE map where you're fighting zombies, you could put that. You can put how many creatures you want to go ahead and eliminate. How high does it go? 1,000? Yeah, so you can go up to 1,000. Objective to win. This is if you've done X amount of objectives, you will go ahead and win. You can go ahead and put that through. I'll just click through because I like to show everyone the values, because I know when I watch these videos, if I don't see the values, I'm like, I wonder if I can do that. You know, so you could go up to 1,000. So let's go ahead and just take a quick break from here and let me show you what that is. So if we go I in here and then we go to devices, here we have objective devices. So this is the prefab you would throw down, and you can go ahead and use these to gain those objective points to complete that. Next we have collect items to win. You can go ahead and turn this on. You could have all, or you could go ahead and go as high as 1,000 again. Again, we're going to go back, and here is the collectible gallery. So this is the one that you would use your prefab to go ahead and get those collections. So that would go ahead and match with that. There's a score to end as well. Ends the round when the players or team reach specific score. You can go ahead and go through that. Probably up to 1,000 again. Ooh, it goes even higher. 1 million. Wow. Yeah, so there's a lot of score there. And this would be, I believe, for your vehicle multiplier as you're earning tricks on vehicles. So whoever gets those will go ahead and win that. Last standing, that would be if it's just a simple off and on. Basically, if you have people getting eliminated after so many eliminations they don't spawn, whoever's standing at the end, that person is the one that would win the game. Join in progress. What happens if they join while you're in the middle game? You can spectate or spawn. So if I have a game going and we're halfway through and Joe goes through and joins, he's either going to spawn in and be able to play, or he's going to spectate. So I usually let people spawn in, but the problem with this is if you do have a build map, usually when they spawn in, there's two bugs that could go on with it. One bug is they're not able to edit their builds, and another bug is that they don't have weapons. So what I like to do is any battle map I have, I'll put like weapons in the back so they can grab it. That way if they do spawn in the middle, they know they can go back there and get the weapons so they can play. But with the edit, unfortunately, it's not going to work. But once the next round or game starts, then they will be able to go ahead and be able to edit again. So it's just one game, and the bug has been there since the very beginning. So I'm hoping Epic sees this video and finds out about it and fixes it. There's a lot of bugs in this version, and that is one that kind of gets a lot of people upset. So that's that. Spawn location, where you want to spawn, you can spawn from the sky. Current location that you're at in the map when you start, or spawn pads. I usually do spawn pads, but it's up to you. Post-game spawn location. After the game ends, where should players respawn? You could do island start, pre-game location, and that's it. Auto start just means once you jump into this map, the map just starts. And it does that after X amount of time. So we're going to keep this off yet because we're still in test mode. Once I'm finalized with my map and I'm not going to make any more changes, this is pretty nice to turn on because then you don't have to go through and start it automatically. And I usually recommend when it's at that case, you put it at the lowest setting. I wish it was even lower, but there's not. So 30 seconds. Vehicle trick score multiplier. You can put how many times extra you get points for doing certain items. 1.0 is the default, so we're just going to leave it on 1.0. I haven't made any maps like that yet, but in case you do, that's how it goes. Allow out of bounds. This is basically if the player can walk off of the map. So you think of the block mainly. If they want to be able to walk off the sides of it, you want to keep that on. Allow spectating other teams. Yeah, it's up to you if you want to do that. And then elimination score. I know you can't see this. This is how many points or how much of a score you get for doing an elimination. So if I eliminate someone, do I get 1 point? Or if I eliminate someone, do I get 4 points? Most likely it's going to be 1, so we're going to leave it on 1. They do a lot of tricky settings lately just so you can do some out-of-the-box stuff, so it's pretty awesome. What I usually do is if you change anything here, what you want to do is click on Game Settings and choose Apply. Your menu is going to disappear, but you're going to go ahead and have that information saved. If you hit start game, it'll probably work too, but then you're going to start game and then it's going to be like that. So I usually just go to the game settings, use that apply, and I'm good. I'm sure in the future they will add an apply button here. They just haven't figured that part out yet. Game settings, the next area here. Game is basically everything that's happening when you're playing the game. Game settings is how the game is going to be set up and start. Time of day, you can go ahead and put random, or you could choose the exact time. Light brightness, you can go ahead and leave it on default, or you could do 0 to 10, 20, 30, all the way up to 100%. I leave it on default, which I believe is 50%. Light color, you can go ahead and change the light color of the game. So if your map is all one color, it would probably be kind of cool. I wish you could split this in half. Like, I wish I could put it some places and not other places, if that makes sense. Because this map is blue and red, so it'd be cool if I could have, like, red fog on the one side in certain areas and blue fog in the other. And it may even be somewhere hidden in this game. Creative is so big that it's just, it's insane. And there's not enough tutorials out there on how to use a lot of these things. The people that find out the good stuff, they usually keep it to themselves. Fog thickness, how easy it is to see through the fog. The higher it is, the darker it's going to be. We'll just leave that on default. Fog color, again, you could go through black, white, red, green, blue, yellow, magenta, cyan, and default. Starting health. On this game, I just do 1%, which is 1 health, because it's a shotgun joust. So once you hit someone with a single pellet, they're eliminated. Frag did choose this, so that's what we're at. Max health, how high you can go. Probably just leave that on the default. There's no heals in this game, so we don't have to worry about that. Starting shields, you could start empty, or you could pump it up a lot. So you could go 50%, 100%, and max shields is where you pump it up a lot. So you can have 100 shields, 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, or no shields. So you do have some options here. We're going to keep it empty on ours because we don't want shields, but most likely you're going to keep this full and 100%, 100 shields if that's what you want. Infinite ammo. This means, do you have infinite ammo? If you say yes, then you don't have to worry about putting ammo all over your map for people to collect. If you want people to collect ammo, then turn this off. Infinite resources. If you want people to be able to build forever, go ahead and turn this on. If not, go ahead and turn this off. Maximum build resources. That's basically your limit of resources. We'll have it at 500 here. Harvest style. This is the ability of the rate of how fast you gain materials. You can do it through Battle Royale, which I believe is the lower rate. Save the World, which is a solid rate, and Creative is more than Battle Royale, but I'm not sure where it is with Save the World. If you do know that, do me a favor, comment down below which rate is the best. But I'm just going to leave it on Creative because you do have a harvest multiplier too, so you can make it so you can get materials a lot faster if that's the way you're doing it, or even lower. So we're going to leave it on 1x for now, even though we don't even use building in this mode, but if you want to, that's how you do it. Allow building. So do you want people to be able to build? If not, turn it off. If so, turn it on. This is inside the game once the game starts. Building can destroy environment. Basically, say you're in the game and there's a tree If I build a ramp, do you want that tree to break or stay together? So if you do not want it to destroy, just say no and the tree will stay there. Or if you do want it to destroy, say yes. But keep in mind this can happen with any single structure through building. So usually people keep that on the no. Environmental damage, this is your structures that you built. So if you want to make sure you keep them in line, go ahead and just keep this to off, or people will start taking out all of the buildings in the map. So you want to make sure that is turned off. Building damage, this is if you want to be able to let people destroy other people's buildings. You can put self built, team built, enemy and self built, none or all. It's up to you how you want to have that. Pickaxe destruction, you can have default, you can have instant, or you could have none. So how you want pickaxe to be able to destroy things, most people leave it on default, but it's kind of neat that you have instant, so if there's a tree you take one swing and it's gone. So we'll leave that on default. Down but not out, this is if you're in a team environment and your friend gets knocked, can you res them? I have it off, but you could keep it default or on. It's up to you. If you want people to be resable, then you would keep it on. Keep items when eliminated. You can keep them, you can delete them, or you could drop them. So most people will keep your items, but you can go ahead and do the other options. Keep in mind, if you are dropping them, other people can pick them up, or they'll have to go back and they'll be without weapons at that time as well. Allow items to be dropped. Of course, you could turn it off here, or you could say yes if you want to drop weapons. We're saying no here because it's a shotgun joust. Everyone gets one shotgun. We don't want to have to trade or anything like that. Just leave it as it is. Allow items to be picked up. Again, we have no, but you'll probably have yes. Respawn time, how long it takes after you've been eliminated to respawn. You probably don't want to leave it at 1 second. We just have it at 1 second because once you are eliminated, you go back to your spawn pad, and I want it to be quick, you know, where other games I might leave it at 3 to 5 seconds. That way, if someone's on a tear and eliminating people and then he gets eliminated, at least you have those few seconds to get ready for him to come back. Spawn immunity, how long you're immune after you spawn. I would use this in most games. I put it to 2 seconds in this one because I don't think it's that important in this mode, but other modes I'm going to go ahead and play around with it a little longer. Fall damage, you can go ahead and turn that on if you want. We're leaving it off here because we're allowing it. Gravity, this is how high or how low to the ground you jump or float. You can leave it normal, you can leave it high, very low, and low. So you can play around with that. It's fun to try in different modes. It's kind of like you're walking on the moon, if you will. Jump fatigue. After 2 jumps, you start jumping not as high. So if you want to keep it that way, which is how it is in game, keep it on. If not, you can go ahead and turn it off. Glider redeploy. If you want people to be able to pull out the glider as they jump off of things, just turn this on. If not, turn it off. Player flight. This is exactly like you are in creative when you're creating a map, when you double tap the space bar or whatever on a controller and you're flying around. Do you want them to be able to do that in game? Probably not, unless you have a map that's, you know, going more up and down. If so, you want to turn that on. If they are able to use it, are they able to sprint? Yes or no, off and on. And then what is the speed they can go ahead and fly at? And I'll just cycle through these so you can see. Player names and locations. You want to be able to see where players are. Most people put team only, always show, always hide. I'm going to leave it always show because it doesn't really matter where people are in their names, but it kind of helps this map, if you will. Health granted on eliminations. You can kind of think of this as siphon. You can go ahead and click through there and put what you want. Most people put 50. I like to run with 100 on this, but you can go ahead and choose it as you will. Also, you could do materials gained, how much wood they get, and I'll click through here real quick just for the first one. So you can go up to 100 and max out. Wood, stone, metal. You could do all those as well. Damage self on hit amount. This means if I shoot you, I would take X amount of damage. So you can say I take 5 damage, and you can go ahead and set that up to how much you want. Here are the numbers. And then you have damage self required non-zero damage. This means when you're dealing damage and you don't deal damage, do you still take damage? It's kind of a weird one. I'm not sure why they have it here. It's like if you deal 0 damage and you're supposed to get dealt damage on hitting, do you still take damage? I mean, when do you even deal 0 damage? I don't know. I think this is, I'm sure this is used for something crazy, but I just don't know what it is. But that's what, I know what it is, I just don't know why you would use it, put it that way. If you do know, in the comments, please. Damage self-filter, you can go ahead and change this against non-players, players. So you could say, oh, I'm taking 3 damage every time I shoot a zombie. You could do weapon filter, so it only happens when you use pickaxes, which is kind of cool, because if you don't want people using pickaxes, then they can go ahead and get damage that way. Melee, ranged, and all. This actually kind of would work pretty good if I do one on pickaxes only, because then this will stop people from trying to pickaxe each other. The next one you can't read all the way. It says allow manual respawning if you want people to be able to respawn manually. I'm going to leave this on just because sometimes people get stuck and I want them to be able to get out if that's the case. So I'm going to leave that on. But if you don't want people to be cheating and respawning when they're low on life and not getting eliminated, then you could probably turn that off. UI settings. These are just some things if you want the minigame time to count down or count up. That's kind of those props. I'll show you here real quick. These here, this will count up or count down depending on what you select here. Game winner display time, 3 seconds. I think that's fine. Game score display time, I put it to 10. It used to be 15. I think 15 is too long. Round winner display time, 3 seconds. Round score display time, I put it to 10 again. It was 15. HUD type default, you can choose creature eliminations, score, objective, default. You know, I'm going to put it to score. Scoreboard win conditions, eliminations. So this will say who wins. And if you don't set this up correctly, you won't get the right scoreboards when your game ends. So you want to make sure you come in here and work on this. So how do I know someone wins? It's when they have eliminations. You could do tiebreakers as well. These are the tiebreakers you could do. I don't really think I'm going to need a tiebreaker, so I'm just going to leave it as a draw if for some reason we get the same amount of eliminations. Map display widget scoreboard or default map. I just put on scoreboard. The last one, I know you can't see it again, show island code watermark. I just leave that on. Basically shows your name and publish code in the compass. Here we have island tools. You want to make sure you back up your map every once in a while. As you can see, I backed it up 31 minutes ago, so I'm good to go. That way, if anything happens, you could always restore it. Also, you can, if you have a creator code, you may be able to publish your island. Like I said, this one's not ready just yet, so I'm not publishing it yet, but video coming soon. And then if you want to go ahead and just reset it, if your map's bad and you just want to put it back, that's how you would do it. You can click on description, and you can go ahead and put what the mode's about. We have a shotgun joust. I didn't really put the other information in here yet. Add another bullet if you want to add more. And yeah, then you have permissions. You can show who has edit and how the map is set up. We have it set to private, and these 3 people are able to edit. So with publish, you click publish and you would go ahead and put your information here and publish it. You will be able to add a YouTube video to it. It looks like they've corrected how they used to do it. Here they'd ask for your YouTube video link, but the video has to be public for you to publish this. But because you're doing that, you can't put the code inside the video. So I'm thinking they might have fixed that, and they might have you enter the code a little later because it does look like it's updated. So I'll know more on that once I do the shotgun joust, but I think they did fix that, which is really nice. So once you publish it, the code will be there, and you also have a shareable link, so then you can give it to your friends. And this will be soon. So that is all the settings here that are currently in the UI. If you would like video all about everything in here, let me know. I can do another video, but only if I get a lot of comments asking for it. If not, I'm going to assume it's not wanted. We're going to go ahead and just peek over this real quick, give you a quick taste. And yeah, that's everything, guys. So I will see you in the next video. Again, smack that like if you like this.